Alrighty, traders, welcome to the to the crypto show. My name is Fichardt, and so just by the way, if you're hearing my voice right now, you're saying, "Oh, Gary's got an accent." Well, it's not an accent; it's actually my voice is going away for some reason. So just bear with me in this show. We're going to welcome traders, investors. Welcome to our crypto battle number 66, sponsored by ACAP. My name is Gary Fichardt, as I mentioned. Many know me as the FX Big Dog on my YouTube channel. Just search the name FX Big Dog and you'll find me, or visit tradersnetworkclub.com. Now, if you're watching this battle on YouTube and you have not subscribed to this channel, please go ahead and do so right now, because they broadcast many shows throughout the week, so you don't want to miss out on that. So go ahead and subscribe to the channel, but also remember to click the notification bell so that you can be notified when we go live for these live battles, and share this video on your YouTube, social media as well. All right, all social media. Now, today is our crypto battle, and we've got some interesting challenges today. So grab a pen and paper, take some notes as you hear from these challenges on how the least ones, Right. So I'm glad to see you back into, hey, this is all about good risk management, and I'm going to go ahead and follow those rules, because once you go outside those rules, that's where trouble starts coming.
Right. It's about being comfortable, being comfortable losing, predetermining what you're going to lose, and being comfortable if the trade doesn't go the right way. Because you're never going to be right 100% of the time. That's impossible.
Right. Do you find with your good equity management risk that you apply to your trading, that helps to control your emotions?
Yes. Yeah, that's definitely 100%, because you know, when you're calm and collected, I mean, if you read the book Trading the Zone by Mark Douglas, it's one of my favorite books on trading. You know, the people that really make money in this are very calm and collected. And when they lose trades, you know, it's not a big deal. They're not constantly looking at the screen as soon as they place a trade. You know, they kind of just wait for the outcome on it and then move on to the next one. And, you know, if you have a strategy that works, you know, at least, you know, 51% of the time, you will make money over time using good risk management. You know, it's experience is everything. The more you do it, the better you will get, theoretically. So, yeah. Absolutely.
Well, great, and good luck today. And in the other corner, we have Peter Anthony. Peter taught himself. Hey, Peter, how you doing?
Good, thank you. How are you?
Good. Now, Peter's been trading for 5 years since he left the British Army, where he spent 7 years finishing as captain. After mixed levels of success in trading, he discovered that cryptocurrencies was the one to go. Huge volatility, a variety of opportunities was the encouragement for him to go in with everything, go in all in. Sounds like gambling, right? Poker right here. But yeah, I totally agree. Now, as a founder of a YouTube channel called House of Crypto, and since then built crypto courses around trading, or at least courses around trading and NFT trading. Now, Peter, I'm really interested in the NFTs. When you invest into NFTs, you can go through different ways of buying NFTs. One is, of course, being whitelisted, which is the pre-sale, and the other one is, of course, then waiting for the public sale and then getting on the public sale. But you're not always guaranteed to get an NFT, nor are you guaranteed to have good gas pricing at the time, because the gas fees tend to be pretty high at that time. What is your preferred style of trading NFTs?
I mean, you're right. Getting on the whitelist, pretty much, it depends on the project. So identifying solid projects, of which there's lots of different websites you can go and do that. Things like Rarible. Finding coming projects. I think a lot of people think that there's a lot of mystery behind finding successful NFT projects, but actually, it's kind of, if they look pretty cool, they have a decent amount of good utilities and like a huge following on Twitter, etc. Now, obviously, the problem with that is then getting onto the whitelist becomes more challenging. So, yeah, thinking outside the box for how I can get on that whitelist. So maybe it's going through and thinking about what content I could create. Obviously, YouTuber, it gives me an advantage. I can create videos about various NFTs, which usually other people can do different things. But getting on the whitelist is beneficial. It's cheaper usually, and you're right, the gas fee issue is solved, because sometimes an NFT might be, I don't know, $300. and the gas fee could be $300 or $400, which kind of means that you then have to make, significant profit on your NFT purchase in order to sort of break even, which is obviously not great. However, on the flip side, Solana NFTs are coming through more and more. Obviously, at the moment, NFT market's a bit quiet, but I think there's still kind of the blue chip projects will survive. So yeah, I think get in and get out is my kind of motto. Like buy it, whitelist. It launches before the reveal. Usually the reveal is about a week after the launch. Selling pre-reveal is like the risk-free one, because you're holding on for potentially having a rare or whatever. The risk obviously is significantly higher because it's rare. You have a lesser chance of getting hold of that. So
absolutely. Now the whitelist. Sorry, yeah. I was saying the whitelist, to get on the whitelist, it's a lot of work. You got to get into your Discord channels, you got to talk a lot, you got to communicate, you got to contribute, you got to go ahead and share a lot of information about stuff. So it's really a lot of work to get onto the whitelist, but the rewards are good based on you getting these much cheaper NFTs and getting the pre-sale, which is far better than trying to do that on the on the secondary market. We're even trying to get it on the trying to auction those, trying to buy auctioned NFTs as well.
Yeah, well, my advice is, obviously, if you don't have the money to do this, and maybe it's considered probably not the coolest thing to do, but I pay for them to do creating content and contributing to the group chats and things. So, if you're new to it, you obviously have to put the work in at the first time. But if you make a good profit on your first NFT, you can reinvest that money into getting other people to kind of help you with that process.
No, that's actually a good idea. Actually, that's a great idea. Hiring someone else to do the work, do the heavy lifting, and then you'll be able to get into those whitelists. That's great. That's great. Great info there. All right, cool. Well, great stuff. Now, for both Evan and for Peter, we have 3 challenges today, and we're definitely going to talk a little bit more about technical analysis, and we're going to more chatter about what the cryptos are doing today in today's trading. But at the moment, right now, we've got 3 challenges for this session today. Challenge number 1, I want to go through those challenges with you. Challenge number 1 would be trade a crypto and explain its utilities. All right. Challenge number 2, it's going to be, we have noticed that Bitcoin recently has dipped. I don't know if you guys noticed, but Bitcoin has fallen. Now, we want to find out, how would you trade it right now? That's challenge number 2. Challenge number 3, what's your best trade for the current market? So based on current market conditions, based on the way the market's in there, what would be your best trade for the current market? So those are the 3 challenges. All right. So let's go ahead and get started. So viewers, strap down. Things about to get real. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and smash the like button. So what we're going to do is we're going to give Evan, I believe it's your first time here on the show. Mm-hmm. So let's go ahead and give Evan the honors to get started with the battle. And the floor is yours, my friend. Challenge number 1, trade a crypto and explain its utilities.
So, yeah, I mean, Bitcoin is the number 1 crypto I trade. Obviously everybody knows Bitcoin at this point. The main utility of it is the one big, fight against inflation. Let's go on to my Bitcoin chart and, let's talk about it a little bit. And you can see my screen here. So, one of the big things I use for trading Bitcoin is these, we call them spider lines, and they're basically just trend lines that go off. They're basically areas of support and resistance, and they work incredibly well. I mean, look right here. This caught our bottom at a few hours ago. This is catching our top right now. So there's 2 main things that I'm really looking at in terms of to trade this right now. The main thing I'm looking at right here is we're having a reaction off of the spider line right here. And, you can see we got a nice bearish divergence on our 6-minute here. And you would I normally look for at the 6-minute lower time frames for kind of a scalp trade type thing. And you can see as price is coming up, this is what a bearish divergence is. This is bearish, price is coming up. and hitting the point while momentum is coming down. So that would have made for a nice little scalp off of that area. Now, is it too late to enter? Now we're coming back up to the line. Probably not too late to enter. However, your 15-minute, and this is another thing that I'm looking at for a potential day trade as well, 15-minute money flow crossover into the green. I like to combine this with my 4-hour printing a green dot, which it is. Now, this trade may have a little bit more, that may take a little bit longer to play out, but how I would try to enter this long position right here, stop loss below the swing low over here. I put a stop loss below here. And I like to trade around, at least it would be nice to have at least a 0.8 risk reward ratio. I have a very high success rate, so I could go under a 1.0 risk reward ratio. However, for something like this, I would probably just keep it to this area, just right a 9.7 or a 1.0. And this would be a nice trade. You'd probably have to wait a little bit, a few hours to get an outcome on this, but I think in all likelihood you'd win that day trade. So I'm going to place that one. And I also want to probably place a scalp short trade for the stream. Maybe we could have an entry on it right now. The other reason why I'm looking more into going long is based on the 12-hour and the 16-hour here. See, it's printing this deep anchor wave. This wave down here, this is a deep anchor wave on the 16-hour. And the last time we had one that was this deep was all the way back in January 23rd. And look what happened. We had a nice rally upward from there. And that was about 30% upward. So not saying we're going to just jump up 30% in the next few weeks, but we've been just crashing and crashing and crashing. You're due for some people to come in and buy the price, especially at these levels, especially at 20K. Like, it would be at least a white swan event for us to just drop down to 16K out of nowhere, right now. And I mean, we're anticipating, I didn't see the latest with the Fed, but we're anticipating a high rate increase, but maybe it'll be a little bit lower than we think. That could send price up a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead on ACAP, and it's a really good exchange, really good layout for setting the trade. I'm going to do a long position. We're going to enter the long position right now, enter swing low right here. And, you could also draw, let's draw a local fib level to see, possibility of, in terms of a place to take profits on this. Got one right here. That'd be a 0.71. And the next one after this is 0.23. I'm going to do it somewhere in the middle here because I'm seeing a lot of, it's coinciding with where I want to take profits. I'm seeing a lot of confluence, and prices sticking to this area right here. You could also do more of a local fib level. Maybe we see something from here to our bottom over here. Yeah, bam, right there. This is where I want to take profits. So what I'm going to do right here in ACAP, love the, I want to risk, I believe the limit is 5% to risk the trade, correct? I want to risk a lot, but yeah, but let's see here. So what's our stop loss? What's our stop loss? 19,942. So we're typing our stop loss, 19,942 here. And we're typing our take profit. What's our take profit? It's 225. Let's do 22577. 577. And we're going to risk the 5%, and let's go. Now, we just put that trade in. So, yeah, it's one trade so far. Go ahead.
Well, fantastic. I got a question. I don't know if you've realized that actually we are trading at the 2017 highs at that 21 level. Yep. This is a great level we were anticipating bounce off. Now, I know Ethereum has traded through its 2017 high, and it's actually gone lower than that, but the Bitcoin is trading at the 2017 high. Did you notice that, Evan?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean, the 20K area, that's going to be huge. We also have, a lot of the high is going to be a big psychological area, a huge psychological area. People are going to come in and buy that. Also, it's 70% down. That's always a big number for people to buy things up. So that's huge. Now, some people could, get a little messed up there because they could have tried to catch the bottom yesterday, which, I'm guilty of it too, trying to catch the bottom yesterday, but we did come down a bit farther. Now people may be giving up. So we could easily come up, it'd be in all likelihood we come up another, within the next day or two, another $1,000 here. So that's huge. Yeah, like you mentioned, the previous all-time high. Bitcoin's never gone below it yet. I think this time we might be able to, but it's never gone below it.
Oh, good. We got a lot of conversation around Bitcoin in our challenge number 2, but let's go ahead and move it on to Peter. Peter, trade your crypto and explain the utilities behind it.
I'm going to go with
Sorry, Peter. I'm going to stop you there for a minute. Just we don't see your screen up right now. Is it just me, or is it? I can't. Looks like you may have been frozen. Yeah. Try again. Let's see. All right. Let's see if we can get his screen back up again. If we can't get it up, then you can just have to talk us through it, and we'll just we'll go from there. Yeah, let's do that.
Then when it comes back to retest, that's what we're looking for confirmation. So in this case, it would be candlestick with the buying pressure coming in. And my supply is great. Yeah, my supply is right. So the bottom on that, it comes to buy on that page. Traditionally, 5% of the account and risk 1 to reward ratio. Because strategy, the one that suits you and back and record your results. So I'm going to do 100 or 1,000. Let's say I win 40% of those trades following the rules, but at the rules, I'm going to be doing really well. Like trying to avoid losing or trying to make huge some days, etc. It's literally just be like tossing the coin, but never deep down that heads has got a high chance of winning. Happy with whatever result. Right, and you didn't go away from your rules. I have to read my rules, and I've been doing it for years. And this is like, because the brain is geared, you know, your monkey mind is trying to trick you. You've got to do the opposite of what your monkey mind is trying to do, because all the banks and the institutions that are moving the markets, they know you have monkey minds, and everyone's going to follow their monkey mind. So if you can do the opposite, you basically win.
So what you're saying is trade against the herd, because with the herd's running, not all the time that's the right direction.
Absolutely, and there's a great thing on Google called, or you can look for it on Google, called the Wall Street Cheat Sheet, which I'm sure many people have seen before. And if you follow my channel, then I talk about this regularly. And it shows like a market cycle from sort of bottom to top and back to bottom again. And it starts with sort of hope, optimism, belief, thrill, euphoria, and then into complacency, anxiety, denial, panic, capitulation, anger. And right now, I think Bitcoin is, you know, in the kind of capitulation, anger zone. Maybe we'll get into depression after a bit of a quiet time, and then it's going to start again. Do the opposite of what media and everything is making you feel right now. When everyone's telling you that Bitcoin's going to go to 15K and they're waiting to buy at 15K, it's the same effect as when it's gone to 60K and they're telling you they're waiting to sell at 100K.
Yeah.
So it's too much greed.
Yeah. So
right now, I think people are being greedy. I think it could take a little bit further drop, and I'll show it later on that I'm going to think it's going to come a little bit lower down, but it's pretty well and truly, you know, shaken out. And there's so much news and negativity about it right now. This is the thing you want. It seems like you don't want it and it's scary, but actually this is like you can feed on that fear. And that's what makes crypto probably right now the most exciting place.
Right.
Far more exciting than it was in November. But everyone was excited in November and they shouldn't have been, because that's when they were about to lose money.
Well, maybe they're excited about losing money. I don't know. So this is the thing. So you're getting into mana, right? You're jumping into mana. You're going to be buying mana. I like the setup. If we can just flip back to my chart right here, I want to show you. I like the setup right here because it does show that we have a nice little swing going up. This is the daily time frame. Swing going up. There is support here. If we hold at that support, we could go up. But my question to you is, are you at all concerned about this downward trend line, that we haven't traded above that yet, and that the market's still in this falling wedge and we haven't broken out yet?
I mean, I'm aware of the trend line, and I would enter on a buy limit, because if it's really happening, who's moving the market? So the institutions are moving them. Individuals like us, we don't have the money to be able to change prices that dramatically. We add on to whatever's happening by selling or buying or whatever. So when the price is coming down low, the banks, they're smart. They know that everyone's got there just under the last wick. So what they usually do is they come back and they retest harder. So everyone's looking for this single support and resistance line, but I like to look at it as more of a box, because if it breaks through, everyone thinks, oh, it's going to go down because it's already broken this support. But what it does is everyone goes in, shorts the market, and then it comes back, because it always will drop slightly further usually than the first candle. Obviously, in slightly different. This is more kind of how things move in forex.
Yeah.
But I'm still waiting to perhaps have a quick push down. That's why I think that Bitcoin's still due to have a day where it does a 3 or 4K dumping up. And I think that's going to burn a lot of people who perhaps are going to be going long right now, because they're hunting for stop losses.
Yeah.
Because they need the liquidity. They want to buy right now. They need people to sell it to them. How they get them to sell it? They make news that looks terrible. They move the market lower and lower and lower until people have to cough up the crypto that they want. And then as soon as they have their bags full, they change it. They go up. All of the stop losses for the sell positions get eaten up, adds to the buy pressure, and that's why when suddenly it moves up, it's going to go like.
All right, so
it'll take
so quick one, Peter, on that. You've got support over here. You're looking to buy on the dip, or are you buying right now? Are you gonna cost average in?
Because of what you're seeing, so on the daily, you can see these wicks in this area. Now it's retesting this area right now, and it is a little bit higher than the previous low. And as I said, if it was forex, I wouldn't be going in yet. I'd be more patient. But crypto doesn't quite work 100% like that, because it's sort of smaller market caps. A lot more control is given to the individual rather than just the institution. So I think that Decentraland is showing good buy pressure at this level. I would go in with a buy literally now, pretty much, with a stop loss at 0.5597.
Okay.
1 moment.
That's a little higher.
Well, I mean, like, the luxurious position we've got right now is that we're at the bottom of the market. So you've got like the ability to kind of go for very big win to risk to rewards on trades, because when when you're at one end of the market, buy the bottom, sell the top.
Yeah.
It kind of like makes life a bit easier. And I'm looking, usually, as I said, I would go for a 3-to-1. But I think, and that's why I would not usually use such a large stop loss. I'd say it would come down further, but obviously we're live and we're gonna place a trade. So my take profit then would be sat at 1.3032.
Okay.
Which gives me pretty much just over a 2-to-1, and that coincides. If you look back on the 16th of May, we had kind of a drop and a push back up, and I think if we if we take a bounce from here, it's going to come up to this level, and then it's going to be due to have a retest. So it's unsure yet. It needs to be putting in higher highs, but we want to take our profits off the table. So that's why that's my target zone for that.
All right, perfect. So that trades in. All right.
Yeah.
Good stuff. All right, we're going to move on to challenge number 2. And challenge number 2 is we've noticed that Bitcoin has recently dipped. How would you trade it? So I guess there's a lot of conversation around it. We've already had some conversation. I'm going to continue it, what you guys are talking about regarding Bitcoin itself. So I've got a couple of questions. Bitcoin, based on the value it is, let's open up a more open conversation around what do we think, not just Bitcoin, but the crypto market. What do you guys believe the crypto market is going to do in the next, let's say, 6 to a year from now, 6 months to a year from now? Evan, if you want to go ahead and start it off.
Yeah, I got a lot of stuff to show you to definitely answer where we could go in the next 6 months to a year. So the other thing I just updated a little. Let me show you a little scalp trade that I took, maybe a little entertaining for this stream a little. So I got the long in, and now I also added the scalp short. And what I'm looking at on the scalp short is, let me show you what I'm seeing on my 3-minute time frame trend line. So we got a bearish div as it's coming up here, and this is our spiral line right here. So we hit that point, confirmed, and we're rejecting off of it. So stop loss up here, first take profit here. So that's a possible scalp short off of that area. Now, to answer your question about what could happen in the next 6 months to a year. So what I want to show you is the weekly time frame. The weekly and the 6-day are huge. So on Market Cipher, what we have for Market Cipher here on a weekly, and I circled it here. So see these deep anchor waves with this green dot below. What you want to look for is the green dot below. And this is going to happen relatively soon here. So this was our bear market bottom in 2018. See how money flow is getting deep, and then you got the green dot. What we're getting right here is money flow is getting deep, and you're getting close. See, it's this yellow line comes up. As it crosses the 0 line, you'll get that green dot below. So probably when that happens, it would be a good shot. We have hit the bottom. Now you got to realize this could just come right back down. It could be a few months, a month or two before that happens. And we could come down quite a bit more. What I want to show you too is where we could end up. I want to kind of map it out in the 6-day. This is pretty big, and you guys might find this pretty interesting. So the 6-day, this is a bit more bearish. This means we could go, because look at it was the same green dot here in the 6-day, but it was deeper in the money flow. And if you go back to 2013 here, the 2014 bear market, this is interesting. Kind of the same thing. We had one here. That one didn't work out too well. Very similar to, see, we already had one right here. Didn't work out too well. We just came down more. The next one. Now, when did the next one happen? It was October to January, 3 months later. That would bring us all the way to September. And now we could kind of map where we could end up, because see, this dotted line right here shows us where we are in terms of money flow. You can make the argument, let's say it was a smaller market cap. Let's be more, let's say it's going to go down 44% from where we are right now, about from our wick down to, say 20K, assuming we do have some relief here at 20K, which it seems like we are. Another 45% would do around 11K. And the other thing that's interesting in the 11K mark, and at that point, you'd be very deep in the money flow here. It'd look like just like this. Another interesting point with that is we could turn on our 400 weekly moving average, which sits at right now around 14K, so general area. Also, I want to map out where our all-time high was to the bear market bottom. So this one was 84%. That was an 84% correction. 2013, this one here was even more. This was an 86% correction. So 86 to 84. And then if we come down, say it's 2% less, say it repeats that pattern, say it's 82%. 82% would be right around 12K. And then you have a lot of confluence there. See, big area at 12K. Here, 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 here. So this general area would be huge. And that would make a lot of sense. That would make a lot of sense in the technicals. When that would happen, it's about 2 or 3 months. So August, September, a bottom out at that area. Also, if you look at the S&P 500, a lot of other things where the DXY could top out, it coincides with that. So that's pretty big. Let's look at how my trades are doing right now. I'm trying to figure out. So all seem to be in the negative at the moment. This one's down 97. I'm trying to figure out which one is long, which one is short. these two, I believe, are the long ones. Yeah, these two are the blue is the long. And then we're kind of negative with the short right now. So the short could get stopped out. But I do think we're hitting possibly a local top at this point, and then we'll come down a bit. That's where I'm thinking to this point in the shorter term.
Okay. All right, good. Well, we'll take a look at the dashboard and take a look and see how you guys are playing out. We're going to give Peter a chance to go ahead and put in. Now, before I move to Peter, Evan, are you going to? You've added now 2 trades. Are you going to be taking on any additional trades after the discussion on Bitcoin?
No, probably not. I would probably, well, the scalp trade, there's always a scalp trade opportunity, but these trades, I'm just going to be waiting for an outcome. So the 2 long trades, those are going to take longer. It's unlikely we're going to have an outcome on the stream. So I did the scalp trade. I want to see kind of we could possibly see at least a few $100s profit on the stream using the scalp trade if we hit that point, which we should hit that point. You know, we could hit it within a half hour. It could be a few hours though, depending. And the probability of that trade winning, I would say, is probably around 60-70% for the scalp trade. For the day trades, probably around the same area. Probably, I'd say a little bit higher, probably 80%, 80 to 90% for the longer term, the day trade, the longs.
All right, perfect. Peter, do you concur with Evan said? Are you on the same page, or what is your outlook?
I think
it's okay.
I think
challenge
in terms
him. It's okay to challenge him. Just challenge him. No, I'm just
kidding. Yeah, you could disagree.
I mean, we have a very different style of trading, so it's very interesting to kind of listen to how Evan does things. As I mentioned earlier, like looking into Bitcoin. This is on a weekly chart. You can see my screen now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So what I normally do is I am supply and demand trader. So as I've mentioned, when something goes up from a particular zone, I'm looking for it to come back down. And the way I'm kind of identifying in this area that this is a supply zone, before I put that there, is I can look for, so just using the weekly as an example, this works on everything from like a 1 minute to a 5 minute, and that's best traded in like London or New York sessions when there's kind of like a lot more volume in the market. So what I'm looking for is kind of a flat area where we've got a bit of indecision, and then something very big comes out of it like this. Because the only people who can really move this money or move markets like this is like institutional money. These are you know, enormous changes in market caps, etc. So this for me right here was my supply zone, and it's not always obvious to what the supply zone is when it's coming back down. So here again, we've got another supply zone. You can see we perfectly came back into it. And so I would have been taking longs in these areas, and I would have taken a long here because it fits my criteria, because it's retesting this zone. And obviously this one would have been a losing trade, but that's why we use stop losses. But right now, because we've broken through this zone to lower levels, I'm now looking back across for existing data from all the way back here, because it doesn't really matter how long ago it was. It's come down to this level. So I'm now looking for areas in the market, and everyone's probably thinking about this high here in terms of how far it could potentially come down to. Sorry, this high back here, which is the all-time high back in December 17. But my supply zone, and I'll jump into a daily so it looks a bit clearer than it is on the weekly chart. Okay, you see when the market came up very aggressively, it's then come down, and it puts in these wicks, which is again a supply zone on a smaller time frame. It comes up, it comes back down, and retests again. So this whole area here shows that there's market accumulation going on. This is an accumulation zone. So if they accumulate at that price, the question I would always ask myself is, what about the other guys who missed out buying at that price? So, you know, sometimes the market and the order comes back to retest, and that's when we want to be buying. So right now is very exciting because Bitcoin is very close to getting in, and the reason, you know, we've got this 16,297, it unset down. You know, we don't have to wait for it to come perfectly to here, but anywhere as soon as I'm seeing like higher kind of movements, I look into like a 15-minute chart and I'm starting to put in, then this for me is a good place for buying, because it's an area that people were buying before, institutions were prepared to buy before. Zone, I now know that when we come back into this zone, I'm going to be accumulating again. So I can then take orders. So buy limit is if the price arrives back into a place, comes back through, it's going to trigger my buy. Okay, so I'm looking for it to come down into somewhere I want to buy, and it's going to trigger my buy. So I can then stack up orders at sort of various levels. So the natural progression you would think would be, $20,000. We haven't quite got to 20. We stopped a few dollars. Dollars is a nice round number. A lot of people might have that in their mind that they're going to buy $20,000. It touches $20,000 and everyone wants to buy it. You know where it's going to go. And that was the top here. And then I can have maybe another bid slightly lower down at 19,000. So that if it does come all the way down here, it's going to trigger all my orders. But when it comes back and does this, like I mentioned, being the most likely scenario initially, then we're all in the money because we've been triggered, and we might have been asleep at the time that Bitcoin wicked all the way to the downside, and we haven't missed out on that opportunity. Okay. So my first trade, or my trade for today on Bitcoin, will be a 20,000 quarter here, and I'm looking at, I haven't drawn the box quite in the right place, just the very for this here. Okay, so what's that? 895 19,895 sat there. Okay, now obviously stop losses are important, and we've got this wick towards the downside down here. A long term buy. Doing this right now as being like a kind of a heavily leveraged trade. This would be at most a 5% leverage trade, where I'm looking to potentially back to, you don't want to over leverage, and there's no one really knows that it's not going to do this one day and come back up. And if everyone's leveraged, it increases the pain itself if you're over leveraged. So never more than 5%. Never more than 5x at this particular level. So I can risk a 1%, and because I'm lucky where I believe the bottom of the market to be, I've then got this huge opportunity for a massive risk to reward win, because I could hold this and I don't have to go in very big, and I've got the benefit of a massive upside. So this, I then targeted back towards this. Okay, why I've targeted that? It's come down, it's come back to retest here, and you can see if we zoom in, a accumulation zone on the sell, which was happening in this region.
So I guess the question here is,
where I'm prepared to...
Peter, I guess the question here is, with this big upside potential to profit on, is that going to be your strategy? Do you have that patience, that emotional control to be able to get into a trade and hold that trade for that longer period so they can go ahead and reach those targets? I mean, obviously, if the market moves very quickly to that level, it shouldn't be a problem. But if it takes time, are you going to start doubting yourself, question yourself? And if you're in the money, are you going to decide, hang on, I'm going to just take my money and not stick to the rules?
This is like a sort of, so I trade in two different ways. This is like a small position that I'm willing to open and hold for a long period of time, and how maybe when I'm buying crypto, I accumulate crypto at these levels. But when I'm day trading, I trade on, I look at an hourly chart, or 4 hours to an hour, and I identify the direction of the market. I'm looking for pullbacks. As soon as I see a pullback, then I'm looking to get in. So if we jump into, so that's if I was to be accumulating right now or buying as a general rule. Let's have a look then at a sort of a way I would normally trade, which is to identify the trend. Obviously, you can see right now that the trend is down. That doesn't automatically mean that I'm looking to go back lower, but I'm looking to see what's really happening. So really right now, I don't buy when it's breaking out towards the downside, I sell it, and when it's breaking out towards the upside, I don't buy it, but I have to wait for it to make a move in another direction. So right now we can see it's moving towards the upside. Now, if it does something like this, eventually at some point it's going to do that, and it starts to put in something like this, identifying where my kind of demand zone is, which I've already showed you on the other side. This, say, would be my demand zone. I would draw my box across like this, obviously the green box, and I'm waiting for that retest of green. I've made it red, and then this is where I go for my buy. Okay, so I buy here, and then my price target is then 3 to 1. So wherever my stop loss goes is 3 to 1. Ideally, my stop loss is as close to the bottom of the accumulation zone as possible, but always just underneath it. Never in the accumulation zone. Sorry, not the accumulation zone. Never in the demand zone, just below it.
Okay.
Make sense?
All right. Yeah, absolutely. So let's go ahead and move on to challenge number 3. Peter, are you putting any trades on Bitcoin right now?
I'm going to do it just over on
so you got 20,000, right? Well, current price. You're going to go with current price right now. So you're going to go at market.
Current price is at 20K.
Yep. And then you're going to level in on that as well.
Sorry?
You're going to level in on that position?
Yeah, well, I'm going to go for... So my risk to reward was... Bear with me. My stop loss is going to go under... I need to jump back on 4 hour. My stop loss is going to go below around 19.5. So from current levels, that's going to be a current level. That's a drop of what, 1,481. So just because it's a challenge, I'm going to make it exciting. I'm going to go for a 2 Bitcoin position, and I'm going to be looking to put a buy limit in once we return to around $20,037 or around there, which is the low we just put in.
So you cost average in. Okay. All right. Good. All right, that's in. All right, well, let's take a look at this scoreboard. Let's take a look and see exactly how you guys are doing now that those orders have been placed. I heard them go ding in. So they are in. Got a couple of, looks like Evan's going crazy on that side. I don't know which one said he's all in, but you're all in. All right, so we got, exactly, there we go. So we got 5 Bitcoin trades from Evan. Evan is in the money at the moment right now on 4 of those, down on the 1. And then Mana's in. We don't have an update yet on Peter's Bitcoin trade, but that should be at break even at the moment right now. So at the moment right now, as it stands on the scoreboard, Evan, you're taking the lead, my friend. All right. Well, let's go ahead and move into challenge number 3. What's your best trade for the current market? Now let's go into any crypto that you want to go ahead and trade. It doesn't have to be Bitcoin. What would be your best? And I'm going to go ahead and pass it on to Evan.
So right now, the one thing I want to tell people, and everybody's been asking me about altcoins right now, what I want to show you guys in the charts is the Bitcoin dominance. And this is really, really important. This is like the #1 thing that people are completely missing right now. And this is important. So when we look at Bitcoin dominance and we look at, history here, altcoins, what happens in these bear markets is altcoins will bottom out at the same time as Bitcoin, but Bitcoin will outperform them. Bitcoin will outperform them, and this is kind of what I think is going to happen. It's going to go higher. So we look at, December. Let's go to December 2018 here, and we bottomed out right around here, December 2018. After we bottomed out, look what happened. Bitcoin dominance went up up to 72% here. So a lot of these altcoins bottomed out with Bitcoin, but Bitcoin continued to outperform them on the way up. So theoretically, you don't want to be going long on too many altcoins, at least not for any more than a day trade or scalp trade, until you get to higher dominance levels. I'd say at least like in the 60s right here, because Bitcoin bottomed out with the altcoins, but Bitcoin outperformed them. So if Bitcoin's outperforming your altcoins, then what's the point? This is a time where I think it's very, very important that you get into Bitcoin, because even if we do come down to 12K or even 10K, that 80% downward correction, that's not that bad for crypto, especially for a long-term game. If you're down 50% with crypto, that's not that bad, and especially since it's going to come, and we know it's going to come back. And look at this 2019 rally. Say we bottom out at 12K in a few months in September. Look at what happened when we bottomed out here. We had a 330% increase. How long did that take? About 6 months. That was huge. If we bottom out in September, 6 months from there, early 2023, I don't think you're going to go, well, let's say we bottom out around 12K. It's not going to be, 300%, but it could be easily half of that. You could come back up to 40K easily in, early 2023, in my opinion. We could do something, it'd probably look something like this. You come down in August or whatever, and then you gradually have a nice V-shaped recovery towards the end of the year or early into next year up to 35, 40K. That would make a lot of sense, and it would be similar to this pattern in the bear market. And it's a huge accumulation phase for Bitcoin. I would get into Bitcoin, and then after it seems like it bottomed out, 12K, wherever it is in September, 6 months after that, so early next year, that's where you want to trade some of your Bitcoin for altcoins, go into altcoins. And let's just take a look at how the trades are doing. So the short trade is doing pretty awful right now, but I do think most likely it's going to be a winner for the short term. We're going to do something like this. That would make a lot of sense, then continue forward. That's kind of the way I've been mapping it out right here. Price never goes up in a straight direction. Look at how we normally operate. Just come right down to that fib level, then continue forward. Both of these trades most likely will be winners.
Okay. And would that mean, if with that analysis, what would be your next best coin to trade based on this? Would you be shorting an altcoin right now?
Yeah, not necessarily shorting, but the next best coin to trade would probably be Ethereum. But I would be a little bit more weary with the Ethereum longs at the moment. Rather, if I'm going to be going along with any crypto, it's mainly going to be Bitcoin. And for the shorts, I'm going to be more greedy with Ethereum. Because of how, and Ethereum is a bloodbath right now. Ethereum is just we could look at our Ethereum chart here. Let me go to my Ethereum chart, and I'll give you a kind of a price prediction for Ethereum if Bitcoin ends up going down a lot more. Look at our weekly for Ethereum, and I want to show you. Look at this money flow crossover into the red here for Ethereum, and right there we have from where we were. Oh, actually, we're a little bit lower. Excuse me. So it's not as bad anymore. It would be kind of a correction like this, 60% down. 60% down from kind of where we are right now at 1100 would bring us right to the 400 area. You'd probably latch on to somewhere at the 400 to 500 range. I'd probably say 600 to 400 range would be a huge place in terms of bottoming out. And it would be mapped out kind of a similar way to something like this. You bottom out, in a few months from now, probably, because you're going to come down deep into the red here. September, August is what I think. And that's going to be a bigger correction than, 45% for Bitcoin. I'd say at least going to be 50% if Bitcoin goes down 45%. So a higher volatility.
All right. A trade?
A trade for Ethereum right now? Yeah, you're probably looking, there's a few different ways to do it. I would say a long trade. Right here would be a nice, nice kind of long position. Something like this, especially, it's the similar thing as Bitcoin, but I would just double down on my Bitcoin instead. Like, there's not really a reason to really go into it because just the way it operates right now. But something like this would definitely be, if you take this fib level right here to this golden pocket, 618 golden pocket right there. If Bitcoin goes up a bit, what would this percentage be from where we are right now? 20%. So that's kind of it's a longer term trade. So it'd be a bit longer term. If you took, let's see, the scalp off of, you did a quick scalp off of here, here's a potential more of a scalp. If you took profits right now, that would be a pretty good risk reward. If you got in right there, that'd be a perfect risk reward ratio. See how we're starting to hit right there, right there, right there. 3 big places of the price is sticking to. So yeah.
Okay. All right. So you're doubling the down on Bitcoin, staying away from Ethereum. Let's see what Peter has got for us today. Peter, what is going to be your play today? Oh, by the way,
well, I mean, right now, in terms of kind of longer term buys and things, crypto is kind of a very probably very easy one to look at. I think you can go through the top 10 cryptos and identify the kind of projects and the areas that you think longevity and be successful, and that's why I liked Decentraland. I didn't really explain earlier what Decentraland was, but Decentraland is basically a kind of a virtual land or virtual real world for people to be able to build different features and things on that, play games, interact with each other. You've now got institutions, you've got Grayscale buying up and creating a Decentraland fund, companies like Sotheby's, which is a big auction house, as well as other kind of like larger celebrities getting involved. Lots of good in that space. The metaverse is obviously going to be something is happening now, but I think is really going to gain momentum, and it's the ones who kind of got in early in that space who are really going to build and really develop this year. So crypto gaming and metaverse and stuff, anything around these spaces is really going to explode. It exploded last year, was overpriced, and it came down really aggressively. Now, those platforms, many of them on things like Ethereum, and Ethereum has kind of been struggling with various kind of problems, as everyone knows, like gas fees, etc. And NFTs, also I talked about earlier, some sort of problems with NFTs being the high gas fees, which make them perhaps less profitable and less enjoyable to trade than they perhaps should be. But Solana is a blockchain that runs significantly quicker transactions than Bitcoin trade, than Ethereum. Significantly that it's continually no sort of issues. In fact, doing is growing, limited really by the technology that exists around it today. So our blockchain itself, it's kind of like has almost infinite potential. So jumping across to the Solana chart, what's on the Solana again? Like I looked at with Bitcoin, Solana's actually come down to the level of the previous accumulation zone. And my accumulation zone, yeah, we've got accumulation. This nice kind of like candle in here, showing a bit of indecision, but good buying pressure, and then suddenly bang, blows up. So we got our little zone through here. Again, I'm going to make it green to the east. Buy the green, never sell the green, and at the top, buy the red. Sorry, sell the red, never buy the red. It's a good rule to have. If we jump into 4 hours on Solana, we've actually seen something quite exciting happening, where we're starting to put in. Not only do we have this bottom here, we then came back to retest that bottom and pushed again. And if we're able to really break beyond this high, then the next stop, we're going to be hitting at least to the sort of $40 level. And that can give me, by putting my stop loss under this wick, I can get to this level and have a 3-to-1 risk to reward ratio. This is just over 3-to-1. So that's my trade for today on Solana. Because I believe in the project, it's fantastic blockchain, and I think it's going to perhaps steal a lot of the thunder from Ethereum this year. And not only that, it's in a perfect position to buy right now. Ideally, I would have bought it, after this green candle. So let's just zoom in a little further so we can see it clear. In terms of confirmation, we had our first come down and we've come back up. We've got these wicks indicating that there's buying pressure coming in at these levels. We came down and we had an engulfing candle, which means that this green candle has a bigger body than the red candle next to it, showing good buying pressure. So I would normally have entered the trade at this level here, which would have given me a little bit more kind of wiggle room. That's around, just under 2% or just over 2% from where we are now, but I'm going to buy it anyway because I still think it's a good trade with a good risk to reward. So my stop loss on Solana, 26.4875, and my take profit on Solana all the way up here $39.6.
All right, fantastic, Peter. Well, good stuff. Let's go take a look at the scoreboard. Is that Solana trade in already?
Solana, no, not yet. Gonna do it right now.
All right, he's going to put that Solana trade in right now. If we look over here, looks like it's still going to be Evan. Evan is actually still leading the pack. He doubled up on that Bitcoin trade. He's down on that. Whoa, hold on a second.
The scalp trade did get stopped out. We did have an outcome, but I doubled down on the Bitcoin along.
All right, so did it stop out? Okay, it stopped out, didn't take profit. Okay, so it closed out at 500 down. All right, well, maybe if we do the math, we might be even right now based on that loss on that scalp trade. But that's okay. That's what it's all about, right? Taking some risk for the charity of today's event. So let's take a look right here. Let's see that trade. All right, the Mana trade is in. We've got our Bitcoin trades in, and the Solana is still not in. That's probably going to be updated soon.
Solana's in now.
There it is. It's updated. So that Solana trade is in now already. So good. We've got all trades in right now. We'll take a look and see how that plays out. Remember, traders, and of course, challengers, this is going to be probably until Monday next week. These trades will be held. They can close out their trades before Monday next week. But what they cannot do is re-enter after the show. So these are the trades that they have right now that they're going to go ahead and monitor over the next, call it 5 days. And then go ahead and we're going to go ahead and close out at, let's say, about Monday, Tuesday next week. And we'll then, of course, know who the winner is. All right. Good. Well, we've got those trades in. Very important. Evan, do you want to tell the viewers, firstly, number one, how can they get in touch with you? How can they learn more about your trading style? And also, please do me a favor, share some information about your charity of choice as well.
Yeah, so Evan Aldo, it's on YouTube, youtube.com/Evan Aldo is the channel. Also on Twitter, Real Evan Aldo. And those are two main platforms I use. It's mainly YouTube, and I do a lot of tutorials. I also do a course on evanaldo.com that teaches kind of all the things that I use to do my technical analysis, risk management, placing my trades, how to use exchanges, all of that. And donating, charity I picked is the Cancer Research Institute. I had a lot of family members with cancer. I think that's one of the big things to do more research on. So it's definitely, you go, people are completely fine, and then they get that, and your life is flipped upside down and completely ruined very quickly. So that's why I'm donating to that. And yeah, that's about it.
Well, fantastic. Thank you, everyone. Peter, if you can go ahead and share with the viewers how they can get in touch with you, learn more about your trading style. At the same time, of course, please share your charity of choice as well.
Sure. Thank you. So my YouTube channel is The House of Crypto. Sort of focusing on technical analysis, but is starting to move a little bit towards a lot of the things I talked about today, like trading mentality, supply and demand, trading within the crypto space, which I think is becoming more and more important as institutions, etc., arrive in the space more and more. As well as that, you can hit me up on Instagram and PJA_world. And happy to talk with anyone there. I also have an NFT course over on Udemy, so if you want to hit me up, I can send people across to that and give discounts for Trading Battle viewers. In terms of charity, my charity of choice, obviously being from the military myself, my charity is the Help for Heroes charity, which is a British charity that helps wounded war veterans to recover, rehabilitate into work, whether that be sort of physical injuries, mental injuries sustained while on operations, as well as that supports families of wounded soldiers and soldiers who perhaps have been killed in action. So quite a close one to my heart, obviously, with my background.
All right, fantastic. Well, Peter, thank you very much. I want to ask you one question before we go ahead and close. Are you still upset that the South Africans beat England in the the World Cup final in 19. Have you guys got over it? Have you got over it yet?
Yeah, just about over it. I play. There's a lot of South African guys in my rugby team, so I still get reminded about it quite regularly.
Well, I'm from South Africa, so I believe we got another match coming up on November 26th, England against against South Africa. So that's pretty good.
We won the last one, so it's okay.
All right, well, good stuff. Well, thank you all. I do appreciate you guys. Thank you very much. I do appreciate everyone's patience with my voice today. Woke up this morning and suddenly gone. I don't know what went down, but hopefully next time around we'll be better off with me not having a voice that's gone. So thank you all. It's been fun hosting the session. Thank you to the viewers. Without you, of course, this is not possible. And we always learn something new from our challenges. And today we certainly have learned something new as well. So I do appreciate that. Now, remember, traders, that these battles take place every single or a few times in the week. So make sure that you guys are subscribed to the battle, because power is knowledge, and learning from these challenges is certainly giving you the power that you need in order to be able to be successful in trading. So before we say goodbye, I would like to thank our sponsor, ACAP, and we'd also like to go ahead and show them appreciation by going ahead and smashing the like button, sharing this video so that we can get this video out to as many traders as possible. All right. So with that being said, my name is Gary Fichardt, wishing you joy, success, and lots of profit. Until next time.